So with that, can you tell us a little bit about the background about like how it started and came up and like your beginning journey of how everything was created?
Yes, I love that question of how like Stature started. So I I'm gonna back up first. So when I'm 6'2" without heels on, and I was a 6'2" 14-year-old. So I was always really tall. So clothes never fit me growing up, and so I kind of just gave up. I was like, well, I'll just wear a t-shirt and jeans, call it good. I was in a drama class, and our teacher like knit all these wristbands together, and she knit them for like the color that she saw us as. And that year, she knit me a like brown and like dark blue one, which I don't hate those colors, but like everyone else was getting like pink and yellow and all these bright things. I'm like, really? Like that's what you see me as? Is like this really dark? I don't see myself as that. But then I was thinking, I was like, well, the outfit that was my favorite that year was like this brown volleyball tournament t-shirt with like a blue Adidas jacket over it. And I was like, that is not at all how I want people to see me. And it was frustrating because I just felt like there was nothing that ever fit. And I know that my mom went through that. She's tall as well. So then once I hit college, I was like, okay, I really do want to like focus on my fashion more. And then because there weren't too many options out there for tall women, I would kind of tweak my style to see if I could fit. So thank God, like 3/4 sleeves came in because I was like, well, that's just a regular long sleeve to us. And so it kind of cultivated that way. And I always knew that I wanted to do something. I always had this like drive. I just didn't know what it was. And then finally I kind of got a kick from a friend that was like, hello, sister, like you got to do something in fashion. And I was like, oh yeah. And so that was the beginning of 2017. And then by October, I'd kind of formulated a business plan, started working with the Startup Collaborative on what that was. My initial meeting with them is like, I want to do fashion for tall women. They're like, okay, what does that look like? I'm like, I don't know. I just know that this is a problem and we need to fix it. I don't know what this looks like. I don't know. You know, we went through tons of iterations, spent pretty much that next year just doing research, polling tall women. What do you want? What are you frustrated with? What do you like? And then it was summer of 18 that I got hooked up with the Fashion Institute Midwest with Alyssa and Sam, and then got to work with Denise Urban. And so that's when things really started rolling. That's when we really started cultivating. Okay, what does this look like? What is the niche that we're going to have within the tall women sector? And being a busy young professional that has kids and a husband and a bunch of different things, I was like, there's no professional wear. Like my husband could go to Men's Warehouse and find a suit that fits him and they'll tailor it and it's fine. And I'm like, where's mine? So it was about summer of 2018 that we started doing that. And then we really started rolling, trying, like making 2 steps and then falling 3 and, just kind of cultivating this. And then
Trial and error.
Yes. Yeah. If you're not winning, you're learning.
Right. I love that.
And so kind of just stumbling through like, what does this look like? And then we're able to get our feet under us enough that we were able to enter into Omaha Fashion Week in August of 2019, which was so exciting. That was like dreams come true. And so we've just really been rolling since then.
Yeah, and at Omaha Fashion Week too, it was like, oh my god. And when I seen you there, I was like, I have to know this glamazon. Like, who is this lady who just came in there? I was like, oh my god, okay, we have to really get through. I was like, oh, excuse me, miss, can I just take a picture with you really fast? Like, you're everything right now. And so like, awesome. So the life of Omaha Fashion Week. So starting with day one, what was that like? What was like, the collaboration with working with different people? So what was that journey like?
Day one of Fashion Week?
Yep.
Like when we first started?
Like when you first got like, assigned, like, so I know how like when you pretty much you like had to be accepted into it, if I remember correctly. And then after that, from there, what happened? Like how was the ball roll?
So Denise is like, all right, you sure you really want to take this on? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. and I don't know, she might have called me names under her breath. I don't know. She's been a great partner. So so we went, really and she's like, okay, well, start with a mood board. Tell me what you even want. So I was like, okay. So I went home and made a huge mood board. I was like, I like this and this, and I like this and this. And she's like, okay, let's give me a color palette from there now. So we kind of worked through a color palette. And then she came back with a couple sketches, and I was like, yes, we refined and tweaked a couple things, put together our inspiration boards, and then we're able to go, submitted our application, presented to the board, answered any questions they had, talked about our business model, our profit margins, where everything was sitting, and then we're accepted to be a headliner of Fashion Week, which was like dreams come true. I was like, I think I was like crying. Actually, I wasn't crying. I was like jumping up and down. I was like, and then so after that, then you move into, obviously there's kind of like 2 different tracks that you have to do, because it was you have to focus on the actual clothes that are going to be shown and where you're sourcing fabrics and the trims and the notions and how's this going to look, how are we going to style it, who's going to be on what. And then you also have to work with getting the model. That was really nice. So once we got our models figured out, I really appreciated the fact that it was on us to contact them and say, hey, we'd like to work with you. You know, they told them, they assigned them to us, and then once that process was gone, we got to work with them on all the fittings.
That just goes to show, though, too, like, where are the tall women at? Like, you know, that especially needs to represent, as opposed to right now, too. Like, you know, that's a big, and it still is a big problem, too, in the modeling industry, where, like, you know, if you're, like, a real tall glamazon, because most of the people just meet that requirement.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, 6'2", where are you really going to find a model like that, unless if you travel to Paris or somewhere like that, but like, you know, or out of the States.
And there are tall women here. I mean, like, most of our biggest customers are here in Omaha right now. And so I know that they're out there, but then I also think about, like, the thing of modeling. I'm like, you could go walk. Like, there's no age range. There's no size range. And I'm like, I don't want that. Like,
true.
I'm a mom of 3. I have hips. I want women with hips.
Right.
You know? Like, I want
realistic
I want
people.
the tall, beautiful, whatever.